Put on Christian's intro music. There it is. Welcome into the Recipe Podcast, Celebrity Secrets to a Successful Life. Actually, this is the Unplugged edition of the Recipe Podcast, and this is Monica's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Yeah, Monica's birthday. Aaron, what do you think about that?
Wow, birthday's a real special day.
This is a big day. Yeah.
Especially 22.
Yeah.
That's like...
T-Swift.
Yeah. Yeah, she made a whole album about that. About being 22.
Who did?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You got that album, do you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It was the anthem of my generation.
Yeah.
Oh lordy.
You listen to it too, Christian?
That's hell no. I don't know that music.
Jay, do you have that album?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
It's saved on my phone.
Maybe we can cue some of that up a little bit later. So happy birthday. What plans do you have other than being with me at work today?
Going out to eat with my family.
Yeah? Where you going?
Maggiano's.
Ah, Maggiano's. Oh. What are you going to order? Did you look at the menu already?
I went in Colorado in the beginning of the year, but I forgot what I had. I like Italian food, so.
But you're going to go look at the menu before you go, aren't you?
No.
No?
No.
Do you do that?
Depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to be surprised.
Yeah.
Aaron, do you look at
Never.
My girls do it all the time.
I know people who like to do that, and they'll look at the menu, look at
If
the
I'm going on a
prices,
trip,
and,
I'll do that.
My girls, they, hey, we're going to go out to eat. Boom. They go right onto the phone. They're going to look at the menu right away.
Well, you know, the only reason I do it now, I didn't really do it in the past, is because Jill eats vegetarian. So it's like, I don't want to go to a restaurant where it's like one choice for her. And that's that.
So my daughter's just stumbling on, before we even open up the show here, my daughter just stumbled on as a gluten-free. She was feeling like shit forever.
Yeah.
Went to the doctors, and they said, okay, stop eating all of this stuff. Like, it's a huge list. And she did, and she feels like immediately, like the next day, she felt better.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
what happened to my friend. She just found out that she was allergic to gluten.
Shit. I got to start dealing with that at home now. So anyway, so welcome into the Recipe Podcast. Hey, before we get started, I want to make sure that I direct all of you people that are listening to this show, make sure you go over and listen to our other show, which is the Recipe Celebrity Secrets. Okay, so you need to download that show separately. Make sure you do that. The Recipe Celebrity Secrets. This is the Unplugged, so it's two different shows. Make sure you download both of them. And also just want to formally welcome everybody. Venus, thanks for coming in. Birthday girl, Monica.
Hey.
Jay, thanks for everything. Everything A-okay over there today?
So far.
Hey, man, I actually went relatively smooth. I turned it on and it actually worked right away, huh?
What's that?
Like equipment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So that's a good sign. And Aaron's guest appearing once again.
Yeah, of course.
Clean shaven, bro.
Yeah, I decided to start shaving.
Yeah?
Start,
You're back at school.
taking life seriously.
Yeah? How's that working out?
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I remember in certain industries you have to shave every day, sometimes twice a day, and it's nice when you have a job where you don't have to do that. Where you can go a couple days without shaving.
So the schools don't have a restriction on you about that, huh?
No, they're so lenient. It's great. Yeah. When it comes to dress code, when it comes to, I mean, they shouldn't be, right? Like, I think there should be like a uniform for teachers. Honestly.
I don't like that.
But,
I don't like that.
What?
I mean, I don't like that they should just get to wear whatever they want.
Why?
Yeah. I mean,
Because let's say you at 22 or 23, you could probably be a teacher there already.
Yeah.
So how about you're in high school? I can't tell the difference between a teacher and a student.
That's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because there's seniors that get left back twice, probably the same age as you. Right?
that happens. Yeah.
It's like, who's the authority in this room? I don't know. The one wearing the tutu.
Yeah, I don't know. I went to a high school. Everybody had to wear ties.
Of course.
Yeah. And no jeans whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a jacket and tie at the Grange in Chile. Super old school. Might be too much, but because you had to like costume change 3 times a day for gym and for stuff like that.
Costume change.
Well, if it looked like a costume, because we all wearing the same thing.
Gotcha.
And then when you had, check it out, and then when you put on your gym clothes, you wear a certain color. Like, and you're that color for life. So I'm light blue for life. Light blue, dark blue, light gray, dark gray. So at the School of the Grange, it's like you take on that kind of personality. So the light blues were going like through a moment of a surge of success through the years that I was there.
So it's like the houses of Hogwarts,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
you're like,
It's weird because like the dark blues are like those are the bosses.
and they
man.
probably called them houses too, right? Did they?
No.
okay.
It wasn't all that because it didn't come directly from that. I don't think, at least, but maybe it did. I don't know. But the idea was it was more like color pride, right?
So they have a box and they're like, grab a shirt and you just have
No. I have a niece who's light blue because she's
Yeah,
related
okay.
to me.
So, yeah.
So it depends on.
So once it's in your family, it's that's
That's it.
That's how houses work.
Really?
Yeah. It's once. So I have a niece who's light blue, and that's it. Anybody who's ever in my family who goes there is light blue.
What? I thought it was done by class, like freshman, sophomore.
Yeah.
Hell no.
No, it's like houses. Like there's
Yeah.
several private schools. There's one called Western Academy, that's right around here somewhere that does like houses, like the House of Water and the House of Degree. And once you're in that house, if you're a teacher, your kids are going to be in that house, or if you're an older brother, your younger brother will be in that house. And they have rivalries, and then they have
That sounds fucked up to me.
tournaments.
It's like your
and
mark
stuff.
for
Yeah.
life.
It's tight, man. It's tight. And the thing, and
It's
so
a
when
tribe.
so when you go to gym, you're wearing that color shirt. You know what I mean? So you have that shirt on, and then when it's colder, it's rugby season. You're wearing your rugby shirt. So this would be like, it would look like this. I'd be dark blue. But dark blues are like walk around cocky. Sometimes their dark blues all faded, and you're like nobody says anything to them. Whereas like if you're dark gray and there's some fade, they're like, hey, you need to get a new shirt or whatever. Like everybody had to look a certain way. And so when we had color like wars, it wasn't by year. So it's like you were playing basketball with like a senior who was a light blue, and that light blue is, come on, man, the hell's your problem, you know? And you're just a freshman or whatever. You're like, man, is this guy gonna hit me or what?
So what determines what color you get? I mean, there's a movie about this, isn't there? There's a movie about that went.
They try to keep the balances. So it's just kind of like as it comes in. Like when I came in, they were short on light blues for whatever reason. So the guy who came in the same year as me, this guy Juan Eduardo Parker, he was a light blue and I was a light
Remembers the
blue.
name.
That's not the guy that you got to fight with over the bubble jacket, was it?
No, that was freshman year in New York. But this is sophomore year. Because of that, I find myself in private school in Chile a year later. I mean, that was part of it.
I think Parker is like a royal name.
Yeah, that was his last name,
For some like
Juan Eduardo Parker. Anyway, this
like
guy,
Don Bernardo O'Higgins.
he was like the representative. He was like the representative for Red Bull in South America when Red Bull was first coming out, because he's my age. So you can imagine this guy.
So he drove around in those little Mini Coopers with the.
No, he would be
Like
like
the giant Red Bull?
he would be like at all the Playboy tournaments here in Florida and all. Like growing up, we were all jealous because he always sent us pictures, like straight up pictures, because there weren't those kind of phones.
Yeah.
And he would send mail like, hey, having a good time, and it'd be like a postcard from the Playboy golf tournament. He's like sitting there with two Playboy models and stuff.
I think
Anyway.
they're called bunnies.
Off the subject. What did I call them? Playmates. Playmates. It's just a weird name. No, but I'm talking.
Play bunnies.
No, it's not a play bunny.
No.
But we both came in light blue, and that was part of the surge because I brought this to the table. Like there was a part of Color Wars that was like lip syncing, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna choreograph this thing. And then there would be another one that would be like climbing ropes, and Parker would score highest, be the senior doing that. So the year we went, like you get categorized by your year, you get categorized by your color. Light blues came second, which was like the first time since like 1980 something. And check this out. This had never happened. The sophomores beat the juniors because of he and I, because we came in as sophomores, and our score totals were crazy because I did everything on one side. Like we had another part that was like a dance off. I came second, and I was a sophomore with my dance partner.
Bro, show us some of those moves.
No.
Come on.
And they changed the music, and it would be like polka, and you got to start dancing polka. So you have to be like kind of practiced. And you looked, and some other people were like real well rehearsed. But my dance partner didn't show up for some reason, so I had to grab my girlfriend, and she was like an okay dancer, but I was swinging her around the place like you wouldn't believe to try to get the 500 points that you got for that win.
I want to see some of that action. Come on.
I have some of that on video.
Come on, dance with birthday girl.
No.
Show us something here.
No. Yeah,
No?
with all the no, that's fine.
You end up breaking something. Yeah. All this
Wow.
equipment.
Wow. All right. Well, that's a lot on that one segment there.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about dress codes, and in conclusion, I think dress codes usually are a really good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you go to a party or you go to an event or anything like that. It's sort of like an equalizer. It's like, all right, everybody knows you're
Yeah.
not supposed to wear jeans for this.
Yeah.
Or everybody knows you're supposed to wear a black tie, but somebody like me is going to show up just wearing a black tie because I'm not going to go get a tux, right?
Yeah.
But which is kind of a controversial thing to do nowadays. But at least everybody knows, like, hey, I'm not going to be overdressed or I'm not going to be underdressed.
It's controversial to go get a tux?
To not get a tux. Like for me, like when I show up to the
gotcha. Yeah.
things with black tie event, and I'm just wearing a freaking black tie and a black suit.
That's okay, though.
Everyone's like, well, you couldn't go get a tux? Anyways.
You know, but it's funny, though, that how many times after I got out of school and we're in certain situations or with classes or colleges or wherever we were, and there's so many people, so many guys that know how to tie a tie. You know, and that's kind of a good thing you should learn, you know. And so in high school, it kind of leveled the playing field. It was good. I mean, it's nice to teach young adults how to act, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's a good first step for that. But not a whole lot in the news this week. But before we get started, I just want to say hey to our sponsors, Jay. And want to say thank you to the Texas Beef Council. They are very cool people, and we love them because they love chefs. And if you don't like beef, there's something wrong with you. Scottsdale School of Culinary Arts is a huge supporter of us and has been for a couple of years now. I think we're in our third season. We're in our third season or fourth. I don't know. I think it's at least our third season. Anyway, Scottsdale School of Culinary Arts, if you want to look for an online education, you can do that whether you still have a job and you're trying to work, or it doesn't make any difference where you are in the country. You can give these guys a call and get a full education, and that's super cool. It's one of the best in the business. So Scottsdale School of Culinary Arts. There we have it. So I want to thank you for trusting us with the show. And how about those Astros?
That was pretty cool.
Yeah?
They needed that. They lose yesterday, it would have been a done deal.
Yeah, it was a must-win if I've ever seen one.
Well, imagine. So I mean, when they went when they lost the first two, right, and then they have to go travel to where is it?
DC.
DC. They go to DC, and they're down to it. It seems impossible, right? So now they win that game, and now it's like, oh shit, all we need to do is win today. So if you could just keep
they're back to even.
Yeah, if you just keep that mindset, all we have to do is win today. That's all we got to do.
And they got home field advantage back.
And then we have, we get back our home field advantage.
No.
Well, I mean, in other words,
if they win today.
Because if we win today, then we just have one game in DC and then two at home.
Right.
So, and we just have to win two of those games.
Yeah.
But I was watching it downtown at the outside the Dynamo Stadium. They have this huge TV set up, like Lucky's Pub sets it up, and it's there's a big crowd of people. You can go watch it. You can go watch it at the stadium too, like at Minute Maid Park on the TV.
That seems lame to me.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer going outside. The only thing is, it was kind of cold. It was like 52 degrees.
Yeah, damn, it was cold.
And it was 10 degrees warmer in DC where they were playing the game.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of weird.
Yeah.
We got a cold front through here.
Damn, it was cold. Shit.
Yeah, it was real chilly.
I got winter clothes on. I got my Christmas shirt on. You like this one?
That's your Christmas shirt?
Yeah. It's flannel.
But you ever watch those simulations they do of the baseball games where they have this supercomputer that runs a simulation before each game and it'll make a prediction of what's going to happen? So they did one for today, and apparently Jose Altuve hits a home run in the first inning, and then Chirinos hits a home run. And I never used to believe that because it's kind of like a video game. They do a video game with stuff.
But it's algorithms.
Well, yeah, because in the last World Series we were in, 2017, they did a simulation, and I read it, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then I watched the game, and it was almost exact. It was like Brian McCann gets hit by the pitch in the sixth inning, and he gets because they run all the algorithms, and they're like, all right, they're going to put this pitcher in. He always pitches inside to left-handed batters.
This
and
guy leans in.
Right, and they're like, he's going to get hit by the pitch in the sixth inning. I'm like, wow, and a lot of those things happened. I thought it was kind of freaky a little bit.
Well, that's up you and your dad's alley there, those algorithms. But do you remember that movie? It's a great fucking movie with Brad Pitt. And when they first started,
Fight Club. Yeah,
no.
beating himself up.
No.
Legends of the Fall.
No. Google baseball.
I know.
Snatch. No. Moneyball.
Moneyball. That's
it.
Yeah. Isn't that when they first started? Really
analytics.
Yeah. That's a good movie.
Well, there's a book that came out
True story
2 years ago called Astro Ball, which was the Astros version of Moneyball. So Moneyball was sort of like the late 90s, right? Oakland A's. And then in the 2000s, recently, there was Astro Ball, which is much more advanced. So I read that book.
Yeah.
I listened to it on the Audible thing. And it's pretty fascinating, all the different things that they looked at, and all the different like spin rates, where they would take a pitcher who's not a good pitcher, but he spins the ball really fast, They're like, okay, he doesn't throw hard, he doesn't throw fast, but he can spin the ball, and we can manipulate that and turn him into a strikeout pitcher. Or get a guy like Dallas Keuchel, who's like, well, he's not a strikeout guy, he doesn't throw 100 miles an hour, but he gets a lot of ground balls, he gets a lot of base hits, but that means he's going to get a lot of double plays, he's going to eat up innings, right? And they were looking at all this analysis, and it was pretty amazing how the Astros did that, because what amazed me the most about the 2017 win was how low our payroll was. That's always pretty amazing when you look at the Dodgers and the Yankees were paying through the roof.
Yeah.
And even like the San Francisco Giants, who sucked that season. Yeah. And then us, we had such a low payroll, but managed to put together just all these little pieces. And we made mistakes too, right? There was that guy that we was it J.D. Martinez that we cut from the Astros?
Yeah.
And he ended up being the best batter for the Red Sox. He ended up helping the Red Sox win last year. So we made mistakes, but just not as many mistakes as the other teams did. And there were some decisions that were made that were considered like kind of sad decisions or bad decisions or whatever at the time. Like when we decided not to go with the guy Mark Apple, who now owns a sandwich shop in the Heights.
We got rid of Pence. I mean, when Crane first bought the team, he offloaded everybody.
Right.
I mean,
when did he buy the team? I didn't know it was recent.
No, well, it was
2011,
5 years. I was
2010,
was
something like that.
Oh, okay.
Because the deal was if Crane buys the team, he has to make it an American League team, American League West.
Yeah.
And so that's why a lot of people didn't want to buy the team.
I wish they would have stayed in the National League.
Well, the only reason they had to do that was because to even things out. So now it's like the NFL. There's 4 teams in each whatever division, and so now they did that, which kind of mixed things up a little bit. I mean, and it would kind of be like the Yankees and the Mets being in the same division.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird, but
it is.
Anyway, so well, tonight. What time is it? Is it 7:00 tonight? Is it
7:07?
7:07. Well, why do they do that? Why they fucking just say 7:00?
Because I think at 7:00 they start that's when someone says play ball or something like that. Something happens at 7. Maybe that's the national anthem.
The national anthem and then the actual.
Yeah, because they want you to tune in at
and say
7.
play ball at 7:07.
I think they.
Bro, it wasn't in the book. It wasn't in the.
In Astro Ball? No, they didn't go over that.
Have you seen Moneyball? Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. So anyway, yeah. So there you have it. Well, Astros still breathing a little bit. So if we could win tonight, that would put it back at 0-0 again. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was at the game, game 6 against the Yankees. It was fucking bananas. Mm-hmm. It was bananas.
Oh, that was the game. The last game.
Saturday night. Yeah.
Altuve hit the damn ball, home run, and the place was just upside down.
Yeah.
It was one of those games you'll never ever forget. The electricity in that building, it was crazy, and so it's cool to be there, and of course you know that we sit in the Yankees family section.
I know that well. I was at game 2.
Yeah. So, did they have a shitload of security to escort them out then?
No. I mean, there must have been some beef. But
all right.
The night I was there, it was a big group.
Well, listen to this. So I think, because remember, our guys went. We went up in New York and we got treated like shit, right?
Yeah.
And it was all over the news, and the guy got beer thrown at him, and it was all over the news. It was national news. So they gave some tickets to this nice little fat kid who got beat up on it. So they gave him a nice seat somewhere in the game, and of course Hinch comes out and says, "Hey, make sure you treat those fans. We are classier." And that. So it's a whole big thing, right? It's a news story.
Oh, Hinch did that before the Astros game?
Yeah, before Game 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we're better than them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he does all this, right? And so I'm at Game 6, and they were obnoxious too, and they were yelling and screaming, and they're doing their chants all game long.
The Yankees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when the Yankees tied it up, oh my God!
Forget it.
Oh my God!
I was at home. You should have seen me.
it sounded like the whole damn stadium was cheering them on. That's how loud this group of 30 was, right?
Yeah.
And it was so crushing to have them behind you and thinking, God damn.
In the 9th inning.
Yeah. That's literally what happened in game 2, because the game 2 was a walk-off too.
Yeah.
With Correa.
Yeah.
And so that 30 at one point where it was like silent, the whole stadium said it was just and I was with them because I was the only one with the Yankees. I was like just a couple people over just behind me Yankees.
You were one of them, man.
Yeah. So that shit was loud, and like the 3 people or 4 people around were all Astros fans, and I'm like in their ear, like busting their eardrum.
Well, so now after all of this has happened, right? The beginning of the ninth inning, 3 cops are on this aisle and 3 cops are on that aisle surrounding that section.
Damn.
Through the whole inning. And I'm thinking, bro, I said, that's not right. I said, we're better now. We're not going to touch them. So I said, I'm not going to get involved with these guys. But that's what did that. And then as soon as the game was over, boom, they escorted them right out. Like, whew. And it was fine because.
That's funny.
Yeah, because the stadium, like everybody hung out. Everybody stayed for another 40 minutes.
Yeah, because you guys won.
Yeah. So it was pretty amazing.
Well, they did a ceremony and everything, right?
Yeah,
They
they're
the trophy and the.
Yeah, they're pulling out all the stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Everybody was out in the field, and I mean Altuve, how cool is that little shit, huh?
Yeah, he's good.
I mean, he's really a good guy, and yeah, he's a good guy. So anyway, enough about Astros. What else went on? Anything you want to talk about, man? Hey, did you have a good week, Aaron? Any you should bring some stories from your school too. I mean, I'm sure there's some really good ones.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's got great ones.
what's the stupidest thing you've ever seen from a student do at school?
Stupidest thing? I mean, I
mean, Christian and I, we had this conversation before. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done at school?
don't know. I probably could have come prepared with something, but I don't want to get sued either. Because they have all these privacy laws. I don't know why they have those privacy laws, honestly. Because the way I look at it, like, okay, so that Parkland shooter guy,
Yeah.
right? The guy that shot up the school. The reason he got away with it or was able to do it is because of all these laws that we have that say that, like one of his teachers couldn't have been like, hey, I'm gonna call the cops because this student's a piece of shit, right? The teacher couldn't do that because that goes against, he's a minor and all that, and even if like a minor commits a crime or something like that, it doesn't go on his record sometimes. You know what I mean? So he's like, okay, he's 17, so you get a fresh start. But I don't know. In a way, I think the way I look at it, it's like the taxpayers are paying your tuition, so the taxpayers should have a right to know.
Huh.
What do you think? They can make a law that says that, well,
Yeah, for sure.
your grades should be public. It's like, all right, we the taxpayers, we're paying $20,000 a year for you to go to public school. We want to see your grades. It's like, wait, why are you failing that class? You had an open notes quiz. Why'd you fail it? That's called accountability.
Hey, I get a really good point. We do pay for all those little shits to go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should be able to have a say.
Well, I think the trend is, though.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
When you think about how much it is for one student, so especially if you have like a student who's like doesn't care about school and is like, yeah, I'm gonna go get a job at I don't know, the Piggly Wiggly, where they're gonna pay me $12 an hour, right? And I'm gonna do that like 30 hours a week or whatever. I'm not gonna study, and wow, I'm making like $300-400 a week. That's pretty cool. It's like, well, yeah, it's cool, but the taxpayers are paying $20,000 a year for you to go to school.
That's right.
And I think, I was reading a book. I've been reading a lot about education and sort of like the future of education. And you see the trend starting with college, where more and more people are realizing that college is kind of a scam. Unless you have like a specific thing that you want to do with it,
That's right.
or you have a plan. Like one of the lessons I read from your first book was about having a plan. Isn't that how it starts off? You got to have a plan. You got to. You were talking about culinary school, but it's like that with anything, right?
Yeah, sure.
If you're going to go to college, fine, go to college, but have a plan, right? And I think you said have a plan like 100 times in the first, several chapters. But that's how important it is. A lot of people are like, their plan is, I'm just going to go to college and figure it out afterwards.
Yeah.
And more people are realizing, well, then you got like $50,000 in debt. You got a degree that's kind of useless. You got, and so more and more people, I think, are going to realize that college is kind of a waste of time for some people, right? Or for many people,
Yeah.
right? And then colleges are going to lose a lot of money. And I think the same thing is going to happen with high schools. So in the next 10 years, you'll see that happen with college. And then by like the 2030s, people are going to realize, like, is high school really even worth it? Like there's so many great online resources right now to learn math, to learn science, to learn language arts. But then, of course, you don't have that sense of community that you would in a school.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like, well, for example, for me, when I went to high school, it felt like a community. It was like a very small school. It was a private school, Catholic school. But because it was a small school, for example, lunch was an hour long. We had the entire school had lunch at the same time. So my little brother was a freshman. I was a senior. We didn't sit down for lunch very often, but we could see each other during lunch, and then we could have little groups of friends and
Go smoke a joint real quick out back.
Well, I mean, you gotta understand. The late 2000s. It was a very stressful time. You know, we thought the world was gonna end in the year 2000.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So obviously times were different back then. But nowadays, the way it is, it's like, okay, we're gonna give students 20 minutes or 25 minutes to have lunch, and we want to get them in and out. So
Yeah.
get them through the cafeteria line, let them eat. The second they're done, get them out of there, because the last thing we want is for students to sit there with no food in the cafeteria, where there are gonna be fights. There's gonna be problems.
Yeah.
They get up to no good. You sort of want to control every second they are at school. Every minute of the day, they're supposed to be somewhere. Someone's supposed to be watching them. They're supposed, that way they don't get up to any good. But again, for me, like, it felt more of a community when you had a big school, or well, it felt like a big school to me. But now I know it was kind of a small high school that I was in, where everybody's having lunch at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
You take your time. Then afterwards you have, like, 20, 30 minutes. You're conversing. You're getting to know people. I like that.
It's interesting you bring up a good point. What's going to happen in the future with education? Because one thing that's happening in culinary schools are closing up shop everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Art Institute's closing up. Cordon Bleu is totally shut down, and
But they have like 20 locations.
they're shut down.
Really?
They're all the LCB's all shut down, and because of the government got involved with how much they're charging, right? And
Yeah.
so they're all shut down, and so you got Johnson Wales CIA, they're hanging in there, and of course, Scoffier School of Culinary Arts, I think they're going to hit it on the head because they got all the online stuff. But you know what? Who else is say that college is a scam? Is any successful entrepreneur? He said, "Don't go to college." They all say, "Don't go to college."
Yeah.
And all the Gary V's and the
Peter Thiel.
yeah, I mean, you name them. College is a bunch of shit. It doesn't teach you how to survive in the real world if you want to be an entrepreneur. So they said, "Don't go to college."
Yeah, and plus it costs a lot of money too.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not only that, but like, for example, I went to the Hilton College of Hotel and Restaurant Management, and there are a lot of great things I can say about the school. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you want to learn how to be a restaurant manager, a hotel manager, a private club manager, you're not going to learn it from the books, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can listen to they have a professor there, a visiting professor or whatever, who's a GM at a very important country club in the city, and he gives his lectures, and you listen to them, you're like, wait a second, that's not how country clubs run.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how your lectures say, that's what the book says.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, there's a lot of things that you know once you work at a club, or once you work at a hotel, once you work at a restaurant, that you wouldn't learn from the textbook necessarily, And so the one good thing about the Hilton College, though, is that they gave me a pathway to explore a lot of different areas that I was interested in. I got to meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it was kind of that sense of community.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what you're paying for, and I shouldn't complain because I got a full scholarship, so I shouldn't. It's not like I was paying for it, but at the same time, it was like, it was the connections, right?
Christian
The
and I
people you
paid for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was the Greater Houston Restaurant Association paid
yeah.
for it. Yeah.
Well, shit, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. This is gonna be in the next 10 years. A lot of shit's gonna change. Technology is gonna in warp speed is gonna change.
Yeah.
And sound recognition, voice recognition, all that shit's gonna change.
Yeah.
Our cars are gonna change, and it's gonna be a interesting 10 years coming up ahead of us. So.
Yeah.
I got back from San Diego. I was out there for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Had a trip. Been a while since I've flown. I used to fly all the time. I don't fly too much anymore. But
How long has it been? You were flying like every weekend.
Well,
just like a year ago.
yeah. I'm a low life gold now. I used to be a, what do they call them? I don't even remember what they call them. Fuck anyway. It's not a platinum. What's above that? Anyway, it doesn't make a difference. 1K. I used to be a 1K for like 5 years. But yeah. But I had some interesting experiences. I was coming home, and I was in the airport, and I was walking to my gate, and there was a young couple, probably late 20s, early 30s, and good-looking couple, and they're coming this way, and all of a sudden, right in front of me, the guy says, "Fuck it," and he has his phone in his hand. He says, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go home," and he turns around and walks the same direction that I'm going. And she keeps going that way a little bit. And I'm thinking to myself, you ever listen to conversations while you're walking, like at the park or down the, I listen to people's conversations all day. And it's just this weird thing in my head. They're talking about the dumbest shit, right? So I happen to catch it. So did I just hear that right? And I turn around and I look behind me, and the girl is now like 30 or 40 feet behind me, just standing there, looking like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And they're at the airport, right? They're getting ready to fly somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably their honeymoon. Well, you know.
They're a good-looking couple, and so she stood there, and I'm 10 feet behind this guy, so I'm just gonna kind of chill and see how this pans out. and so I'm walking, and he was walking slow, you know, he wasn't like trying to get away or anything, and he's just walking, and you could feel the tension. And so we get down this ramp, and then you go around this corner. There's all the gates are there, and then there's a kiosk right here. So he's kind of looking, and then finally he takes a quick right and gets behind the kiosk. And so now he's looking in between the kiosks to see if the girl's going to follow him. And sure as shit, she came back down. And there's a lot of people, she didn't see him. So I stood up against the wall like a creeper. You know, this is kind of, you know, it's education. Fuck, I had another hour before my flight took off. And she turns around, she's looking, can't find the guy. And I'm like, he went that way, and she was really upset, you know.
Yeah.
She didn't like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
she didn't care at that point.
Yeah, why are you getting involved? And she was like, you could see her face, should I trust you or not? And whatever. Anyway, she went that way, and she couldn't find him, and she got on the phone and called him. But anyway, that's kind of fucked up. The guy just split.
So what ended up happening?
That's all I know.
What do you mean? If you stuck around that long, why'd you stick around all the way?
Well, I didn't want to follow anybody. I mean, I didn't follow anybody. I just went up against the wall, and that would have been really kind of jacked up, right? And
or what if he was like kneeling down, he proposed to her as she comes around? That would be a pretty cool way to do it.
Really?
Yeah, like get somebody pissed off and then do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's videos on that. We should search that. There's the black girl that told her boyfriend that the baby's not theirs. Have you seen that video? I don't know if we can find that. Yeah, and they take it they take it all the way to a fight. The guy takes out a gun, and she's still playing the prank until
Takes out a gun for what? To shoot her?
yeah.
Yeah, see, and if he had shot her, they'd be like, "Oh, that's domestic violence." That, you know, they wouldn't tell the whole story.
She took the gig all the way for about 35 minutes. Yeah, and that she's going to. Anyway, so that was that.
The funny thing is, it was probably really believable too for him. He was like, "Man, I knew it." It was plausible. Let's just say that it was plausible.
I'm not saying what he did was right. What's that comedian? So I'm not saying what he did was right, but I understand.
Yeah.
That black comedian. What the hell's his name?
Dave Chappelle.
No.
Oh, Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. Yeah. You seen that one?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I'm not saying he was right, but I understand. But yeah. What's the smallest bathroom you've ever been in on a plane?
I don't know. Do they get any smaller than what they are?
We don't all fly Emirates where they give you like a sauna and all that kind of stuff.
No, but listen, man, I know they're small, but this is the first time I was on a plane, both on the way to California and back, that, you know, you have business class, and then there's one all the way in the back of the plane. There's never one in between, right?
Yes.
So the plane that I was on back and forth now put one, so there's three, one for business class, and then one right at the beginning of seat 10, right? So now there's one for, you know, the poor people. And then there's one all the way in the back of the plane. So this bathroom here at row 10, that's the smallest goddamn bathroom I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I got in there, and literally there's like two fingers on both sides of my shoulders. I mean, that's how damn small this bathroom is.
What airline is that? United?
United.
Oh, God.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen this?
Yeah. I mean, they're really trying to cut corners.
Cut corners.
Oh, yeah.
So listen to this. There's this big woman. Get up.
She got stuck.
Well, no, not quite.
They're called passengers of size.
She would.
POS. That's what you're supposed to
Is
call
that what it is?
Yeah.
Passenger of size?
Yes. That's the
Or is
appropriate
it SOS? No, it could have been in an SOS. But so she got up and she went in, and I felt bad for her because I went to the bathroom and sat down. Like 30 minutes later, I saw this woman go by, and all I think was, bro, she's not gonna make it. She's seriously not gonna make it. And so she opens up the door. She goes to get in, and she stops. And in her mind, it probably saying, "This isn't going to work." But then she was too far in. It's like, "No,
Yeah.
I got to go in." So she went in and then she never shut the door. And then she was in this embarrassing situation where she said, "Fuck, I gotta get out." And she came out, her face was fucking red. I mean, there was, in like 7 seconds, 8 seconds. And she was like, how do I act? Because everybody is watching you.
Yeah. And Chef Carol was up against the wall.
Yeah.
I want to see how this turns out.
She went that way. No, seriously.
Yeah,
man.
it's a bigger bathroom that way. Yeah.
What else you gonna do? So she went up into the business class, and the stewardess stopped her, and he said, "Well, you know what?" And they just let her go. Are we gonna argue with her? No, so she used the bathroom of business class.
Oh yeah.
So that's how that worked out. First time
She lucked out.
First time I've ever seen a person that was too big, person of size, not being able to fit in the bathroom.
Do you ever go inside the airplane bathroom and talk to yourself? If there's one place in my life where I'm like, it's okay. I mean, like, not loud, but it's okay because it's so tight, and the mirror's like right here. You
And
know
it's
what I mean?
loud. It's loud, right?
It's loud.
What
So
are you saying to
What do you
yourself?
say? Yeah. What comes to your mind?
Think about anytime you're flying somewhere, right? You're going to either take care of something.
You're gonna kill this.
No, school
You're
thing.
gonna-
Yeah. Or you're going to see family, which, you're going to see family. You're going to see old friends.
Dad, I'm pregnant.
It doesn't matter. You're looking and you're just like, and for me, like, I got to get myself revved up. It's like, first of all, I hate the flight, right? I got
Right.
2 more hours to go, whatever.
Right.
So in my head, I get myself revved up when I go. I throw water on my face, like, feel refreshed because I don't like to land looking like, people land, they look like they were sleeping on their face. I hate that. I always feel like that's so embarrassing. Like, you're at the gate.
Yeah.
Here comes the plane that you're gonna get on to leave, and the people that are getting off, that was like an 8-hour flight.
Yeah,
and they're getting
bad
off,
breath,
and
pretzels all over their fucking shirt.
People look like dog shit, and I'm like, I would hate for anybody to see me that way.
Right.
So my bathroom visit shortly before landing is mandatory.
Yeah.
And I'll
To
always
fluff yourself up a little bit.
and I'll always like rev myself up for whatever's coming.
Okay.
And I always wonder like if other people in there doing the same thing, because I'll get out and I'm like, look, I know it doesn't smell in here because I didn't go to the restroom at all. I left it fairly clean because if I'm wet in my face, I'm gonna wet, so I dry everything up. But I wonder if they can hear, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause people always stand and they'll like stand like right up against the. You ever open the door and the person's like right here?
So what do you say, bro? What do you say?
What is there to say?
You're gonna no. You talk to yourself. What do you say?
Like
you're gonna kill this presentation.
right? Or let's say I'm going to.
You are a handsome son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, or I'll look at it, and for some reason in those mirrors, you end up seeing a very close rendition of yourself. I don't use a mirror like here. Usually it's there.
Not to be alarmist or anything, but that's what the terrorists do. Like before, no, I'm serious. Before they do any kind of terrorist act, they go in the bathroom and they talk to each other in whatever language they speak. I'm not saying, and then they'll talk and they'll put a bandana on their head or whatever. That's what happened in France on that train a couple of years ago. A couple of terrorists went in the bathroom and they were like revving themselves up. And
Yeah.
like, all right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna kick some ass. And then some American soldiers happened to be on that train.
It's a movie. That's a
Oh,
movie.
did they make it a movie?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It wasn't
They
that
make
long ago.
everything a movie.
Clint Eastwood shot it.
Really?
Yeah.
And-
It was called Train to Paris, 67 to Paris or something.
And I think the same thing happened in 9/11. The guys went into the bathroom and and then they came out and then all of a sudden they were wearing like bandanas around their heads and they had razor blades in their hands and
Oh, damn.
and so you don't want people to think that like you're going in there you're like we're gonna do this, we're
That's a
gonna do
good
this.
point.
I'm gonna land. We're gonna kill it.
Point.
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's a motherfucker talking in there.
They may have speakers in there, Christian. You may want to be careful. Now,
That's actually a great idea if you
Yeah.
put speakers in there. But that's privacy, right? But once you're up in the air, whose jurisdiction is it?
Right. You belong to like the
it's international.
TSA, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The-
international.
So no laws apply.
right.
No, it's federal.
Federal to who?
Whatever happens in the air is a federal
Anything in
crime.
the world is America's responsibility. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes, of course. I mean that's what we do.
Yeah.
We run shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a federal. Whatever happens in the sky is federal. It's no longer. It's not like a state of Texas or where you left. or where you
I
landed.
understand that, but even overseas,
Yeah.
that's weird, man.
Well, I mean, because you could go fly in a plane, and you're like, oh, I'm over the ocean, so now I can, do whatever I want,
I understand that, but
But
that
you can't, I mean,
yeah, but there's on cruise ships, once you get into international waters,
Yeah.
U.S. laws don't apply. So whose jurisdiction is it then? U.S. as well?
I think so. So you could get on a cruise ship and go out in the
Where do you
ocean and then
belong?
marry a 10-year-old or something. You couldn't do that. That's still
I don't
illegal.
know.
But I heard this on another podcast. Someone mentioned that hey, if I wanted to kill somebody, you know, wouldn't it be the best place to do it is on a ship when it's when you're in international waters because there's no law, you know? So I don't know. I heard that was a funny argument. Yeah.
I don't think, I don't
It's
know.
a lot of responsibility.
But I think
for
technically
America.
the captain of that ship is like the dictator. Like he can arrest you. He can, you know, because people get arrested on cruise ships all the time.
Yeah.
And the captain can decide like, hey, you know, the captain can marry couples. The captain can annul weddings. The captain can do everything. Like he's the captain of the ship.
But I wonder if those captains get special training in that specific, because
Probably.
it's always an older Scandinavian type guy
Yeah,
who
of
looks
course.
like he's been on the ship for 30
That's
years.
why they're there, right? They don't know they don't know anything about driving the ship or how to keep it afloat or whatever. They don't know anything about that. That's not their job.
Yeah.
That's not their job. It's like the conductor on a train.
Yeah.
Well, the conductor was going around talking to people, shaking hands and stuff. I was on an Amtrak and I was like, wait, if you're over here checking our tickets, then who's driving the train?
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, well, that's the engineer's job.
It's right.
Yeah, and so there's an engineer, some guy who's actually his job is to move the train, and then the conductor goes around and he's like sort of the
Blows a whistle.
in charge.
And
Yeah,
he
he
has
blows
the
the
lantern,
whistle.
right? He has
The lantern, the whistle, the all aboard, checks your tickets. Yeah, it's two different jobs. It's a lot of responsibility.
It is.
Yeah.
So I'll give you guys a choice of topics. I was going to ask you, Aaron, if you have a lot of kids with tattoos in your school. But so tattoos being one topic. California fire, that's boring.
Next. We got some things up here you found. Some interesting
Mississippi Alabama game. Do you see the referee was cheating?
No.
cheating.
It's a pretty cool clip. Go ahead and play that one.
All right. Should I just
Yeah, and
I'm
then
gonna switch to it. Might cut you off.
yeah, switch to camera 3.
oh, there's no volume.
Wait a second. Am I supposed to
Is this supposed to be in slow motion like this?
hang on. No. Oh, here. Well, there's volume here. Oh,
That's
just-
okay.
Just not on the video
Let's
itself.
see. It's not supposed to be slow mo. I wonder why that happened.
Oh, maybe if I go over here into the settings, let's see what I can do. Playback speed 2.
Here's Alabama's opening drive, 3rd down and 10. You will see here clear video evidence of the runner, or the receiver rather, is clearly down short of the goal line at this point, right?
Yeah, he's
You can
way
see
short.
All this in relation to where he is now. He is at least a half a yard short of the marker, as well as the yellow first down line. Now, we will see what the referee does.
I wish this was a little bit faster, but anyway.
Saying to watch the entire play, and that
But anyway, it's the referee's job to spot the ball.
Yeah. So watch what he does.
and here comes the Alabama home field influence. Coming in on the
So he marked it correctly. Look where he's standing. Here's the ball.
There it is. Wait,
Oh.
let me look back and see where it's at. Right, let me go look here. Confirm that it's right.
Do you see? He turned around and looked where the marker was.
Welcome to playing at Alabama. And the sad part is they didn't need the help anyway.
Isn't that what they're supposed to do?
Back of the game, 'cause this is the first
No,
round
they gave him first down.
on,
He did?
Yeah. It's kind of a weird. It's kind of a weird.
that's okay. We'll get there.
Anyway, if you played that back, and we don't need to play it back, but what he did, you see him? He got the ball and he's gonna put it down. I said, wait. Oh. And he put it over for the first down. He looked
Really?
at it. Yeah.
So he was cheating the ref.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't understand that.
Yeah. He placed the ball.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
His foot was properly marked. His foot was exactly where
Yeah.
where the guy landed. Then when he got the ball from the guy, he went to go down, and he went, oh yeah.
That's weird.
They caught it on film, so that was kind of fun.
We noticed that with like baseball games too, where they're calling balls and strikes. Like yesterday, they made a lot of like weird calls on balls.
Did you see the game last night, Christian?
Why don't they put up remember for a little while they were putting up the strike zone?
They do.
They still do that.
still-
No, but there was a time where like you could see the strike zone as the pitch was
Yeah,
coming.
yeah, they do that.
So you saw it break the plane. No, they do it after the pitch goes. You watch it natural.
no, they were showing it yesterday. They had the whole
They did?
rectangle, yeah,
Yeah.
and then they would throw the pitch and they would show where it lands.
And the guy,
No, where it lands doesn't matter. It's where it crosses the plate. So
Right.
that's what I mean.
Right.
There's a floating strike zone that's up to the middle of where the plate is, so where it crosses the plate.
That's what they do.
I don't know about that, man.
They do it
Maybe
on certain channels. That like
Maybe so, but on this one you saw that it break the plane. If it doesn't hit that square, it's not. It's not.
well, it
gonna
was
be
kind of
struck.
like the Gary Sanchez at bat in Game 6, right? Where they called it a foul ball when it was clearly he didn't even touch the ball, and they called it a foul ball, and that should have been strike 3. And then on the next pitch, it was like a ball way outside, and the umpire called it a strike. Because umpires sometimes will make up like
Right,
oh,
compensate.
Man, I blew that. Like he knew. He's like, man, I blew that call. So then, and an umpire can never go back. He can never be like, oh wait, I
Right.
messed up. So on the next call, he's like, all right, I'm gonna give him a strike no matter what because. You know,
Well, I tell you what, that umpire last night equally fucked up strike zones on both sides of the two teams.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there was literally. I felt bad. It was in our favor for a long time. This pitcher like had two beautiful strikes, and it was pretty obvious via the box that it was a strike, and he started complaining to the, he went to the ump like, where do you want me to put this thing? And so the very next play, the pitch, he pitches the ball, and he has to put it better into the strike zone, right? Because he's behind in count. So he puts it right in the middle of the damn plate, and the hitter pokes it, and that's where we got ahead yesterday. Yeah, so it was. I felt bad.
Yeah, this is a good example of strike zone stuff.
And the Rays have a doubleheader today and a lot of rain in the forecast, so it's going to be a long day. And Boone got ejected early. That pitch called a ball looked pretty good. This pitch called a ball looked pretty good. This next pitch called a ball looked pretty good. Now Gary's not really catching it, framing these the best, but those are coming across right at the knees. Gary turns around and says something, which he never does. He's pretty quiet. It's like, yo, that's really, really bad. Next up, this pitch the judge called a strike, and he's like, God damn it, man. I'm super tall. I'm 6'7". Like, look at my
He is a big dude.
Later on, Brett Gardner got called up on a pitch he thought was inside, and he's going to just bang his bat around until he finds the loudest.
What happened here?
Bang his bat around until he finds the loudest spot.
Yeah. Froze up.
Oh yeah, that's Brett Gardner. He was mad. He's just reacting.
Look at the umpire. The coach. He doesn't.
Is that Glaber Torres there, or
No.
Urshela? See.
I love that because DJ's like, I know everyone's riding you and they're being pretty mean, but like if we're being honest, that was like a really outside pitch. How awesome was that? He's complimented his players, said they're savages. He complimented the other pitcher, said he's a good pitcher. He told the ump he felt bad for him, empathy, and he wanted him to get better. He said, tighten it up, a little encouragement.
All right, we'll set that down. Yeah, good stuff, man.
Strike zones, man. Like it was. I forget which game it was. I think it was in the ALCS, or before that, where the umpire had to yell at one of the dugouts and say, "Look, I don't have that electronic rectangle in front of me, okay, like you do, because the dugouts have TVs and they can look in, they can see." He's like, "I have to use my judgment," and I don't know. I mean, they could. Some leagues have already started, like some minor leagues have already started using computers for that.
Well, yesterday. The ump did screw it up equally on both sides, but I think it was a benefit of the Astros though, because he really had some bad calls. But anyway, what else we got? Christian, anything you want to share with us? Jay, what's going on in your world?
I don't know.
No? Huh?
Nothing.
We had some articles about these
Nothing
emissions.
good.
Oh yeah,
Drive-throughs.
Oh yeah. So there we go. We can talk about drive-throughs and how Mississippi is telling everybody that you're too fat, and we're gonna get rid of drive-throughs. Or we can talk about Rolls-Royce's new car, the 103 EX. Have you seen that car, Christian?
No.
This is your next car. Play that.
Damn.
Yeah, look at this thing.
It's a concept car, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it comes out in 23, I think. Huh. There it goes.
Oh yeah.
Can you believe this, guys? Look
Guys.
at this beauty.
Look at that
What's
thing.
up, Supercar Blondie here at the
You're not driving that thing in Vermont during the wintertime.
Yeah. What if it gets kind of muddy in there?
Look at this thing.
Show you this incredible
How
car.
cool is
So
that?
Rolls-Royce, massive thank you to you guys for setting this up. This is really quite.
Ah, she's locked.
Look at all the topiary too. I mean, that's exceptional.
Is this in London?
What we're doing here today
Is this going down in?
special. They have probably for the first time in years brought this car especially for the Supercar Blondie channel today. So please make sure to.
So, Christian, I was thinking this is your next car, no?
Let me see it first.
As soon as they drop. Okay, let's get straight to it.
Oh, 35. I was wrong.
This is how the wheel moves to turn the car, and this is partially closed off for better aerodynamics.
Whoa, what'd she do? Oh, there's probably a guy in
We'll
there.
talk about this as we go around, but I just want to show you the major details first. Take a look at this. What happens here?
That's your luggage, I think. Yeah.
Here are the initials of the Rolls-Royce founders.
Venus Flytrap.
Charles Stewart
Rolls.
Rolls.
Because Rolls-Royce is all about the ultimate luxury. So instead of, in the future, having to dive into
So for your
the
listeners
car
out there, this is a spaceship that
it's delivered
that
to
she's
you.
describing.
Selling that car?
Go to YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel so you can see all this.
Unless you're, 7
The recipe podcast on YouTube.
bellboy pulls it out, right? And
What do you think, Christian? That's a $2,000 luggage.
they deliver that discreetly.
What makes you think that luggage is going to look like that in 2035?
The Rolls-Royce
The hubcaps.
badge here is also weighted.
Yeah, good point.
Just as the wheels
Oh, yeah, it's weighted so it doesn't spin around. I hate it when you can't even see the logo because the damn
I think
wheels are turning.
I think in 2035, I think in 2035 they're gonna have those little R2D2 luggages. So you're just gonna push a button and it's just gonna follow you. You know.
Maybe.
See if you can go ahead on that a little bit,
yeah.
and see if you can see the inside of the car. There you go.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Nice upholstery.
You walk in it. Yeah?
And then sit down on the silk couch. This is silk. And then this is hand-woven wool carpet.
Christian, this kind of looks like your car, actually.
Yeah, look at her ring. Did you see her ring?
Oh my god.
The dark wood, and look how the wood is just completely straight, these lines.
I don't think they're so straight, actually.
Panels like that is really hard to do with this wool, so that's really special. As you might have noticed, there is no steering wheel. They are going towards an autonomous future. What is quite interesting is when you think about Rolls-Royce, you could say that they've kind of been autonomous from the very beginning, because
I don't know.
Rolls-Royce traditionally
You can
So
shut.
it drives itself?
Yeah, you can shut that up.
It's like a Tesla.
What do you think about that? What do you think about getting in a car that doesn't have a steering wheel?
Yeah, that's odd.
I don't know.
When she says autonomous, she means because she's got like some guy driving her. Is that what she's saying?
I don't really know.
It doesn't really
Just
matter.
because Rolls Royce was was way ahead of its time or whatever.
Well, you put the computer screen goes up and you tell it where to go.
That is kind of weird, isn't it?
But is that ever going to happen?
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't think so.
I mean, there's
Our
already
cities-
Teslas out where they drive themselves.
Yeah, but our cities are too jacked up. Jay, what do you think? You're the computer
I
guy.
hate to hit a pothole with that car.
No, but I don't think I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's already happened. I mean, like
Yeah.
you said, the Tesla's already got them, and they've kind of shown that these cars are safer than human drivers. Human drivers make mistakes. These cars generally, I mean, they don't, right? They're designed a certain way, and driving is actually, in some ways, it's really simple for a computer to learn because it's just based entirely on sight, right? I mean, you can see a pothole, you can see a car coming, you can, and these vehicles can measure exactly how fast a car is accelerating or decelerating, where it's going, and can almost predict mistakes that other people will make. And the only time I think those Teslas ever messed up was when someone like jumped in front of it or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like a pedestrian who crossed when it was red light or that
but
kind
it's
of
like
thing.
that can happen when you're driving too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to see that day come. I did see another experiment they're doing or they're planning is you go to out of the cities like Austin or something, you pick up those little scooters, you put your phone on, you put the charge in, and you jump on the scooter and go to the next thing.
Just
and
leave it wherever.
Just leave it. They have cars like that now too, and or they're planning cars like that, and you just jump in the car and the car is wrapped with whatever the commercial is, and so you just jump in and put your credit card on it and you drive to wherever you want and you leave it. And it's wrapped with a commercial of so they get, so you go buy 3 Volkswagens and yourself and wrap it and put that technology on it. You get somebody to pay you $10,000 for the ad on the car, and then you charge the guy whatever, and it actually makes sense.
Yeah, I think the University of Houston started that after I left. So after I graduated several years later, the university started, well, they did the light rail, first of all, which was really cool because, I mean, I didn't have a car when I was at U of H for the first 2 or 3 years. And So now I think they started something like that.
Oh,
Where
is
it's
that
like
right?
It's like a car rental thing where
The zip cars.
maybe I don't
Yeah,
know
they
what
had that
call
at
'em.
Johnson and Wales too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Where
how-
like you can just like rent the car and then you have like your card on it and then whatever you rent it for a certain amount of hours. And then you can also drop it off at a different location. There's like several locations.
So
that
how do
you're
you
allowed to
start
drop
it?
off.
It started with a credit card or something?
Yeah, with the credit card, and then they give you like the keys. Like they tell you what the passcode is to open the door, and then where the keys are inside the car when you open it.
I wonder
they
then what if
always
you get in an
change-
accident?
They always change the passcode.
You have insurance.
Yeah,
They probably charge you insurance for that.
there's even like a gas card in it and everything too.
Well, listen, we're gonna jump into another show here real quick. Anything you guys want to add before we go on to another show?
Let's just each of us do a prediction for the Astros game.
All right. All right, Venus. Let us hear it.
I think it's gonna go 7.
Really?
No, just focus on today. Just today.
Wow.
Oh, today?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
They're
pretty.
gonna win today.
What's the score?
It's gonna be a real win. Like
Might as
10,
well focus on the whole series because we're not going to see each other for a week.
Yeah, 10. So what is it? I just said I think it's gonna go 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna write this down so that when I come in next.
I think it's gonna go 7, and they're gonna win here at home. That's not me being optimistic. I'm following the rhythms. They're gonna win
All
tonight.
right, what's the score of today's game?
I don't know, like 10-4.
Wow. All right.
And Astros win?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
All right, Aaron. What do you got?
I think Astros are going to win today 7-5. Brad Peacock's going to get the win. Osuna's going to get the save.
And who gets hit in the
And,
third third inning? You played that algorithm thing.
Oh, well, the algorithm said
Yeah, you said.
Altuve's going to hit a home run. Chirinos is going to hit a home run. And Soto is going to hit a home run. But that's not my prediction.
Yeah.
I just told you my prediction because Urquidy will go like 4 innings. Peacock will come in for like an inning or two, get the win. And then the series will be tied. And like you said, we'll come home and win it at home, which is actually kind of a gift because we won it in L.A. last time. Let's win it at home this time,
Mm-hmm.
in front of our fans.
It's very specific.
I gotta get to that game. I gotta get to that game 7. I gotta make some phone calls.
Well, shit. I'll be impressed if it goes 7 games. All right, birthday girl.
I don't know.
Come on, give us a number.
9 to 8.
9 to 8. Who?
Yeah.
Good number.
We're gonna win.
All right, Astros.
We're gonna lose at first. We'll like be losing at first, and then we're gonna catch up.
All right, and I'm gonna go 6-5. Astros. So we all agree that Astros are gonna win. So that's good news.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all coming in today again, and Venus, thanks for being present.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, birthday girl. Monica, hope you have a great day, and hopefully we get a lot of work done today before that happens.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Jay, I'm glad everything's all working, and Aaron, thanks for stopping in and helping us with the show today.
Of course.
Remember, go to the recipe Celebrity Secrets, because there you will find some other shows. In fact, the next one that we're going to be recording is with Chef Roofy, Gourmet Club Live with Chef Roofy from the Hilton America. So make sure you go to and listen to that show and download that. Thanks again to our sponsors, Texas Beef Council and Scoffrey School of Culinary Arts. Thank you guys for trusting us with this show. So thank you very much. Remember, you're special, you're great. Get off your ass and do something today. See you next time.